Well, I bet this is going to be an interesting story to cover. Vince McMahon, the chairman of WWE, is under an investigation from the board of the company. We'll talk about all the details that we actually know, and then we'll speculate. We're going to have civil discourse about a story that I am certain no one will have a biased, preferential take on whatsoever. That's right. Civil discourse in wrestling media. Give it a shot. Let's see if we can do that. Plus, news about Tony Khan right there with his rose-colored sunglasses, trying to make the AEW New Japan show a annual attraction. Can it live up to the lofty expectations of dream matches floating through the heads of wrestling fans? Tyson Fury, one of the biggest stars in boxing, is already talking about having some major bouts with one of the biggest stars in wrestling and film, The Rock, and, oh yeah, Mike Tyson. Plus, Matt Hardy, in the fallout of his brother being arrested for a DUI and suspended by AEW, he is still set for a major event. And Sasha Banks recently underwent some laser eye surgery. Wow, what a full spectrum of stories to cover today on Sportskeeda Wrestling's top story of the day.
Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out!
Watch out, watch out. Whatever. Let's just get to it.
Watch out, damn it. Watch out.
Yes. I'm Kev Kellam. That is Jose G. And that is Jeremy in Nebraska, if you ask you. A story that really just recalibrated our entire day at sportskeeda.com and across, I would say, most of the media world, including the financial media world, which is where this story broke. Wall Street Journal reporting on this story, which is quite shocking, just reading the headline by itself. Vince McMahon under investigation by the WWE Board of Directors. They tweeted this out just in the last hour and a half or so. WWE's board is investigating a reported secret $3 million settlement with a longtime CEO, Vince McMahon, and a former employee with whom he is believed to have had an alleged affair that was consensual, according to documents and people familiar with the story. Now, more details coming out of this from PWI Insider, who have also looked into the story a little bit. And it doesn't look particularly good for any of the parties really involved, as we kind of find out more about this. A non-disclosure agreement was signed, reportedly for millions of dollars. And this relationship was consensual, according to WWE lawyer Jeremy Bennett, who has represented WWE in a lot of different legal matters in the past, 30 years or so. So there's that. The story didn't come out from the source because obviously they would be breaking their NDA, but it came out from a friend of the source with them saying in an email to the board, alleged that McMahon gave her like a toy to Mr. Laurinaitis. So John Laurinaitis, head of talent relations, is dragged into the story as well. So she was so scared, she quit after lawyer Jerry, just the phrasing of that is so informal, paid her millions of dollars to shut up. The initial email started Jerry. The Jerry in reference, of course, here is believed to be Jeremy Bennett. I don't know what other Jerry they would be talking about there. Mm-hmm. And so this is a pretty crazy story. It's also worth noting that no money, according to Jeremy Bennett, from the company was used for this. So this is private money that was used for an apparent, believed to be private matter.
Hush money.
Yes. Yeah, fine. Hush money. Now, I guess the only positive you can see from this story right now on the surface, because mind you, this is such a raw story. There's still so much about this that we don't know. And Jerry McDevitt and only a WWE spokesman are only partially going on the record about it. And Vince McMahon himself hasn't said anything. John Laurinaitis hasn't said anything about it. Another part of this is that they're looking into other possible NDAs that have been signed by different people with different things. Various forms of what they would say harassment, or various forms of just, hey, misconduct. And misconduct can be a wide spectrum of things that are very, very bad, or just simply like, this person said something shitty to me. I know they're in power and I'm going to sue them. There's a lot there. So I don't want to get into what those could be because we simply just don't know what they are. We don't know what they are. So this is like, I would say, very similar to the situation with Arnold Schwarzenegger a few years ago, where you had him as the governor of California and a massive movie star, having a relationship, a consensual one outside of his marriage, and that one having to be dealt with legally and done in secret and influencing, on the surface, the end of his marriage. So the whole thing about here is pretty alarming, pretty crazy. This follows up, just about a month ago, Stephanie McMahon, Vince's daughter, who was with the company for a very long time and in a high-level position, taking a hiatus and a leave of absence, believing that she will return to the company at some point. And widespread speculation across the board that Nick Khan, who is a fast-rising executive in the company and has steered the ship for WWE to get multi-billion-dollar deals with television parties, could be assuming the role of the company, and this is just all an exit plan. Well, this someone definitely wanted to go for the head here on this story. So, gentlemen, let's try and be peaceful about it. Right?
Oh, absolutely. I think the first thing you need to look at here, and if you've been following WWE and Vince McMahon for the last 30 plus years, this isn't something that's out of character. This isn't something that's actually very surprising to me. These guys are billionaires. And who's that guy that said it? George Carlin. He said, there's a whole group of people. There's a club and you ain't part of it. And Vince McMahon is part of that club. And apparently John Laurinaitis is part of that club. If you guys read that report, it's a little eyebrow raising. Again, these are allegations. These are not confirmed things that happen. But yeah, man, I think to your point, Kevin, I think they are gunning for the head of the snake. And this almost looks, if you're looking at the outside, it almost looks like a coup d'etat in the company.
Yeah.
To be honest.
It's interesting. Like a friend of mine had a take. He was like, he's wondering if, this is pure speculation, but he's wondering if this was internally done, internally planned to get leaked. I mean, you're going for the Wall Street Journal of all things. You're not going for Fightful. You're not going for Bleacher Report.
You're going to the financial sector.
You're going to the business.
Yeah, because if he can alarm the investors will sell, the stock will plummet, and he can get liquidated.
And he gets voted out by the board of directors.
Yeah, that's not, it smells like a coup d'etat. I'm not in the business world. I don't know how that works. Maybe David from the Barclays Center, who does participate in that world a little bit, can tell us a little bit about that. But I don't know, man. This is. I mean, first you got Stephanie, now you got this coming out. This is all very alarming stuff.
Yeah, and Shane was pushed out too, but and that was claimed to be he was trying to take too much liberty in booking. But I mean, it's all really now kind of the dominoes are falling in place ever since January.
To be honest with you, there's a couple of things that are certain in life. Death and taxes, and Vince McMahon not going down with the fight.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Vince always wins, right?
Absolutely.
Boy, I don't know.
If you're in Vegas, you bet on it. You always bet on McMahon.
I did see Max Caster licking his chops on Twitter. So tonight's Dynamite might be a little spicy.
Oh, are you telling me someone's going to use this for a cheap joke?
What?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, come on.
Oh, Max Caster.
Oh, my God. Are you telling me that AEW is going to use this for a cheap joke to distract you from the recent scandal they had with one of their biggest names? Oh, no. Yeah. They wouldn't do that at all. Come on.
No, man. Guys, if you're just tuning in, we have 200 viewers right now, so go ahead and smash that like button. Show us some love, and we appreciate all you guys. We are growing. We have more than 30,300 subscribers on our YouTube. So we appreciate you guys for showing all the love. And make sure you also get the podcast version because we're available on all the podcast platforms, Apple, Spotify, and everywhere else.
Yeah, I mean, that comment you just posted up there about Triple H and Stephanie, it's like, well, now you got to investigate. Did they have any part in any of that? When did this happen?
Knows? I mean, here's the thing, Jeremy. Like, who knows? There's so much to this that's so raw. And specifically the way that I want to know the way the board
I have a
found out about
scenario
this,
in my head.
because here's the problem with this. The blowback from this is there's a million different directions this can go, right? I guess the only positive you can take, and Jerry McDevitt, though he is a lawyer, when he tends to put something out in the public, he tends to be very clear and obvious about it. This is a guy who beat the federal government for WWE. He's not a slouch. This isn't, and he does anything. The biggest case he lost was just them saying, "Hey, do you got to be in court with the World Wildlife Federation for decades, or you just want to change your name?" Like that's the biggest. There's other legal things that they've settled and different stuff like that. How serious is this? There's still so much we don't know about it. Him saying that it's consensual. Him saying that Vince paid his own money. There's a lot of transparency about this, even at the rawest level right now. That doesn't absolve Vince of guilt. I'm not saying that, and I'm not saying he's guilty either. I don't think. The rushing to a judgment here is odd. How far back this goes. There's still so much about this that isn't known. So I think getting to this point, well, this happened. Like, we can speculate, but we can really only look at what's on the page and what we know here. The thing that is going to that I think is the most alarming is, how did someone who knew this find out about it if there's an NDA? And what is the blowback on that person? And how public is that person going to become now in this? And how is this played out? Does this reach to a disgruntled party? And then you have something where you're talking about a coup d'etat. You're talking about somebody trying to use actual metaphorical bullets to, fire in a direction. And I'm not doing that insensively. I'm doing it in the sense of like corporate hostile moves here. And if you want to go for something, it's also worth saying, this is a man who's in his 70s. How long was he going to stay with the company? Obviously until his dying breath. He created it, right? So there's a lot to be seen here. And I know there's a lot of people joining us with their takes and everything like that. I'm surprised and I'm thankful how civil everyone is about this, because on Twitter, people are losing their mind, saying like they're just chasing Frankenstein up the mountain, So I do get it. It doesn't look great. This looks very, very bad for everyone involved.
Yeah.
Well, when if this is true and you're giving her a raise to be quiet, and then she quits.
And the thing is that she's agreeing to it, or whoever that person is. And
then she quits because she's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But then,
I mean, someone who knows a little bit about this.
There's a lot of conflict there. There's a lot of conflict there.
There is.
There's
but
a lot
Wall Street Journal wouldn't publish it without proof. So
no,
exactly.
No. I mean, because then you're putting yourself in another. They're getting themselves into a legal situation.
Like I said, this ain't no rinky-dink operation breaking this news. So
no. I mean, and we got comments like this, like David Barclay's pointed it out. This isn't exactly a Dennis Kozlowski scenario. Would not expect to see Vince get chased out of this chairman role because of this. Might force him to be more hidden for a minute. So
sure,
that could be something where they just kind of like have him take a leave of absence. But again, like I said at the beginning of the show, just sitting back and looking at everything that's been happening over the last few months, it smells like a coup d'etat. I have no proof. I'm only speculating. But it smells like a coup d'etat to me.
Yeah, that's what a buddy of mine exactly said
factor.
Too.
We're talking about the money. We're talking about, money here is being played at point here. You look at the WWE stock price; it's up 18% today. The stock opened at 60. It opened up at 65 today. It's gone up in the past few hours.
Yeah, this came out after the stock closed, though.
True. So, we'll see what happens in the next hour or so with this.
Market already closed when this broke.
Yeah, it'll probably dump tomorrow morning at 9.
Yes. So according to Morgan Stanley analyst Ben Schwibern, raised price target of WWE stock from $60 to $75. So this could even go up higher. Is this good news for WWE stock price? Like, can this be seen as a positive in some way? I just don't know where that number would go up. Also, I don't know why it would even. I mean, obviously, it's the stock price is going to respond to this, right? There's going to be some people that are going to spend their money in a different way, or maybe they want to double down and say, all right, if we think the company's changing, we want to have a bigger piece of it.
Yeah, as David said there, the stock's already been down in after hours trading. So
okay, so then it is going down. Yeah. So I'm basing this on a story that came up like 2 hours ago. So you have the stock flying all over the place. Last time I looked on Google, it was near 68.
Yeah, because it was market closes at 3 Central, so this broke after that.
They'll be be interesting what that stock price is tomorrow. Close today at $67.18. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out here and what happens with it, and how long WWE kind of waits to make a more elaborated statement and put stuff out. If Vince makes an elaborated statement, if he leaves the company, all these different things. I think if he does leave the company, that's not good. I mean,
if you guys, positive thing. If you guys just pay attention to the first opening hour after the bell, and look at that stock, just pay attention to that stock that first hour. If it drops more than 10%, some shit is happening. I'm just saying. Yeah. I'm just saying, because the anyone who's a shareholder is going to be paying attention to this.
Especially because the stock has been trending up over the past year, where, I mean, obviously it took a tank after it reached its high point in 2019.
And that's the pandemic, though. The whole market went down.
Yeah, but then you look at 2022 as a whole, start of the year, or even just go 12 months, and it's been steadily climbing. It's been climbing from like the 50s now into near 70s territory. So it's been steadily climbing. So now if you see a sharp decline, the shit hit the fan.
It'll be interesting. I mean, this is such a massive story. Obviously, we've covered it for a big chunk of the show. We will have more details. We'll go live and break if we get anything more, especially a more elaborated statement from WWE about it. Let's jump into the other side of the wrestling coin. AEW had a tough week already with Jeff Hardy being arrested this past weekend and the fallout from that. Also, expectations still high, but are they still as high as AEW would like them to be? Because it's been affected here with CM Punk being injured. How did that affect the upcoming super card they were going to have here with New Japan Pro Wrestling? No matter what, always in promotion mode. AEW president Tony Khan went on the record with Busted Open Radio in his resident segment there this week, saying that he'd like the show to be an annual feature from the company, and he would like to be able to have an annual super show with New Japan Pro Wrestling. So, interesting. Here's the thing. The closer we get to the show coming up, and I'm going to it, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a very, very good show. There's a lot of concern that this show has some expectations that might be hard to meet. Just because dream match. All I hear is dream match on the show. And it seems politically really hard to pull that off if you're one side or the other. Do we want to be the promotion on the losing side of this thing? Even though obviously we're both getting some highlight on the show. You know,
Tony said it.
A lot to live up to.
Tony said it in himself. This, all this came out from an interview with Comic Book here, and he mentioned he's worked with Gedo on very closely over the past year on who to book, how to go over, and everything. So they've already had this. This ain't a brand new relationship. This ain't a brand new partnership. They have been collaborating on matches for a year now. So this has already been in place, and now it's just going to be on a big stage of a pay-per-view. And of course, obviously, if it goes off really well, if buy rate is very high, they're going to look at making this annual, much like when New Japan would come to Ring of Honor on a yearly basis on a different scale. But they would always have the, I think it was called Global Wars, maybe, or something like that when New Japan was involved. A lot of times there, though, New Japan just destroyed Ring of Honor on almost every match, but this will be a lot more even. It'll probably be more 50-50. But it'll be interesting to see how it plays out, see how successful it is. But I tell you what, with the talent involved and the way matches are produced and how exciting the matches have been for AEW and for New Japan Pro Wrestling, I don't doubt that this is going to go off successfully.
It's one thing to want to have a yearly event, and that's great to have aspirations, but why don't you wait to have the event before planning for your next one? Because you don't know how this event's going to go. We all have these dream matches that we all want to see, but we may not get. Keep that in mind. We're gonna want to see a Daniel Bryan versus Zack Sabre Jr. We're gonna want to see an Okada versus Hangman Page, or Hangman Page versus Jay White. But we may not get those matches. He
never said this is a guarantee. The word his exact quote is, "I'm hoping that's what it'll become." So he's not saying, "Yeah, we're going for this," or
exactly.
He's just saying he's hoping. So he's not hoping. He's not putting the cart before the horse here. He's just kind of hoping, like we all are, because we think this is going to be a good show.
Exactly. I think it's going to be a good show. My worry is it isn't a great show, and the problem is, I think if it's anything less than great, you're going to have a lot more people talking about that. The expectations on this are extremely high. Like this is wrestling nerd heaven, and you got to give me heaven. And I mean that in the right way. This thing was sold out.
A 10-star match.
Yes.
Meltzer's gonna break out the first 7-star. Here we go.
Yeah, but I mean, like, if it isn't any of that, can't say the expectations are met. You know what I mean? And this is the problem when I mean this in a good way. When you have brands like that are known as such a stake-driven brand, you're getting such nutritious, great bell-to-bell action with all these dream matches that have been built up to. Hiroshi Tanahashi and Jon Moxley, that's the match. Beyond that, what are we looking at? You know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying. I was like, you cannot tell me that this show has a one-match card on it, because I just don't think that. And I'm going to have a great time. I don't expect this show to be a bad show, but it has to be like a WrestleMania level show, and I'm not feeling that hype right now.
Breaking news from Fightful Select, some more information regarding the Vince McMahon, John Laurinaitis investigation. WWE has made their staff aware of the article and issued an internal email to many of their staff saying The Wall Street Journal has published a report about WWE with allegations and that we and our board of directors take seriously. We are cooperating fully with the independent investigation initiated by our board of directors. So the board of directors initiated this investigation. WWE has not responded to inquiries from Fightful Select. Sources that they have spoken to have indicated that the relationship between Vince McMahon and the paralegal that was suspected by many in the company, and indicated that she was given a substantial promotion around April of 2021. So that is the time frame of when this happened. And that was the time when they did a lot of WWE cuts as well, which really is interesting because they gave her a raise to keep her quiet, yet they cut wrestlers because of budgetary reasons. They were told specifically that she was promoted from John Laurinaitis' assistant to director, to a director role that spring. There hasn't been much mention regarding the investigation about Stephanie's departure and Nick Khan taking over her duties. So that may actually be apples and oranges. Nothing exactly there to say about that exactly yet. It says, for those asking if the absence is tied or if she had knowledge of it, she's on the company board and would have been made aware of the investigation, as would have Triple H and Nick Khan. The immediate speculation is someone in the company internally and intentionally leaked the information. Let's see if there's anything else here. That is, I think that's going to be the gist. Some sources expect John Laurinaitis is going to be replaced before it's all said and done and be the fall guy in this situation.
Ooh.
One former office employee spoke to Fightful Select, saying that this will be a domino effect and believe Vince will fight hard to stay, but does not see a situation where Laurinaitis does not resign.
All right, so
I just want to wish John Laurinaitis have a. I wish you the best in your future endeavors.
I wish myself the best. And
remember we said we were going to be civil
in these future endeavors. You know, I did not inhale, but you know, these things happen, and just like my favorite TV show of the 80s, I'll be the fall guy.
Oh, come on. It was a fall. I thought the fall guy was in the 70s show, wasn't it?
No, I think it was 80s. I was alive during it, so it was 80s. I was barely alive in the. I was barely alive.
All right, so if Johnny Laurinaitis is out, let's just go with that. Thank you. Once again, tip it. Can we just tip the proverbial cap? I'm putting a hat on just to tip it. Let's just tip the cap.
He put that shit out quick, man.
Yeah, he had to. And you guys are losing your minds. The amount of texts that I've gotten today from people asking me about this, and also I got texts from industry people asking me what I knew about it, and I don't know more than what's out there already, by the way. So please, I don't need those. I don't need a blast like, "Hey, who's getting released?" And I was like, I don't know. Like, don't ask me that. So here's the thing: if Laurinaitis is out, I don't see a scenario if everything that Jerry McDevitt put out, consensual relationship, obviously not great, married guy, right? That's a whole other. That's a completely personal
battle. That's a different battle Vince has to fight.
Completely different battle. Completely different battle.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
I didn't inhale. We're not talking about smoking weed, Vince.
Yes. Also, we don't know what people's marriages are like. There's a lot of people I know that have marriages where that is not a problem. Okay.
So when you're a billionaire, it don't matter, bro. When
swing.
Don't matter.
Exactly. I've worked in media for.
I bet you he's got one of those golden pineapples that he puts on a Friday night or on a Saturday.
Oh, you say lifestyle.
Are we gonna get a line? Are we gonna get a line from Max Caster mentioning John Laurinaitis as Vince McMahon's tag team partner?
Oh, something like that. Yeah,
that's terrible. Let's move on to our next story, guys.
Hey, I'm ready for the hot tag, Vince.
No, what I said we were going to be civil. All right, I'm the comedian. I didn't even go for the cheap stuff. But before we jump into the Tyson Fury story, what happens if Laurinaitis is out? That's a head of talent relations.
Well, he's head of talent relations. Yeah,
position. That's somebody that deals with talent. What's going on here?
I could see Triple H stepping into that role.
Just about to say that. I was just about to say Triple H takes that position.
I think he would be perfect for that role based on what he did to build NXT. That guy would be perfect. Obviously you had, some of your more famous guys to do that role are Jim Ross, who did it tremendously in the 90s and early 2000s. I think Triple H should be the guy for that role.
Let's jump into this Tyson Fury story. Tyson Fury, one of the largest stars in boxing, if not the biggest star in the sport, the heavyweight champion of the game and a box office sensation in his own right at pay-per-view, is really stirring the pot. Now, he jumped into the wrestling game with WWE a while back at a major card in Saudi Arabia, having a match that I actually didn't think was that bad. I know some people thought it was bad that he was involved in a match, but he went out and they did the right thing. They booked the right Gaga match for him to look okay. And there's been a lot of speculation of him being a part of the upcoming Clash at the Castle show at the beginning of September for WWE in the UK in Wales. Of course, he's a major attraction there. Now he's going on the record saying he would love to have a match, not with Drew McIntyre, who wants this match with him, but with The Rock, which is crazy. And then on top of that, keeping his foot hot in the boxing game, Mike Tyson getting back into the game recently with exhibition, pay-per-view exhibition fights.
These aren't wrestling matches that Tyson Fury is talking about. These are your Triller exhibition boxing matches.
Yes.
So he just basically outed Triller for being fake, like we always knew anyways. So these are going to be like your sports entertainment boxing matches. So we'd like to have a sports entertainment boxing match with The Rock, or a sports entertainment boxing match with Mike Tyson, who's done those type of matches recently.
Now, I need to know, did he use the word exhibition? Because, Jose, you follow the boxing game, and I have, as you know, I have friends that are very vetted in that industry, and they told me whenever the word exhibition is used frequently, use that as your out. They will put the name versus the name, but if exhibition is in the fine print of a pay-per-view, that is usually the out for saying, like, hey, this is going to be a legitimate fight, but this isn't going to be a title fight, and this is going to be a fight with very augmented rules in a very specific way, as most of these celebrity fights that we've been getting the past years, which, remind you, sorry for the guys in the game with the real glove skills, these are the real attractions in the sport right now.
And Tyson Fury said it. He said it directly in the interview. He goes, "I'm going to take some exhibition matches, some not real fights that are purely entertainment. This is not professional boxing. This is pure entertainment, nothing more, nothing less." So he's basically just said, "Yeah,
you're in the business. You're in the business of fighting.
There is a fan base for it, and I'll tell you that if Triller can get onto the storyline aspect of it and utilize storyline with the boxers, they can really have something going on there. But this will be interesting. I for one would be more prone to watch Mike Tyson be in this against Tyson Fury as opposed to see The Rock. Mike Tyson's a legend inside the boxing ring. I'd be more prone to watching that. The Rock has nothing to prove inside a boxing ring. He's never boxed a day in his life.
He ain't gonna do it.
But he ain't gonna do it.
No,
especially not against Tyson Fury. But I could see Mike Tyson and Tyson Fury going at it. That'd be an interesting promo, because the Tyson versus Tyson. So I don't know, but I think that'll be cool.
Has that bubble popped yet, though? I mean, they had that thing where they replaced I can't remember who they replaced, but they replaced him with Holyfield, and it was a train wreck.
Yes.
That didn't, and it's like, is this bubble popping? But yet Tyson Fury's talking like it hasn't.
Listen, when you got guys like Jake Paul, Logan Paul promoting for this and making millions and millions of dollars, more millions than MMA fighters and even professional boxers through this Triller platform, they're doing something right.
I just thought that Holyfield ending might have killed it, but I guess not.
Yeah.
No, it didn't.
I guess not.
It didn't. Because the idea is you want casual people to buy the fight,
Exactly.
Well, that was the thing. Like casual people bought a fight expecting something to happen, and
that was one fight.
Yeah,
they're not the draw that a Logan Paul is.
But
you know what I mean? They're not the draw that a Mike Tyson is.
If you spend $60-$70 on a fight and it ends like that, that's a good way for that.
But here's the thing: I don't think that fight's nearly as big as the Tyson fight. The Tyson fight that he had. When he came back,
it still cost people $60 to see
that. But that was a much better exhibition. If you just want to even say an exhibition, it was a much better thing than Holyfield got to have coming out of retirement, and so there's something to be said for that. Are we going to get this Logan Paul Tyson thing that's been talked about? Let me specific, the Tyson thing is getting a little confusing here with wording. Is Tyson Fury going to be a part of this?
Tyson still bangs, dude.
Yeah. And Tyson Fury proved that in his last fight. He's still pound for pound the best fighter at the heavyweight class. Is he still going to be a part of the WWE presentation? Can he balance that? Can he risk an injury by getting in there with WWE and do something coming up September 3rd? If he's not in the ring, he's doing something on that card. He's doing something
I hope so.
there. Yeah. And if I'm WWE, I would back the Brinks truck up to his place as well. Matt Hardy is still scheduled for AAA Mania this weekend. With all of the unfortunate, sad news we've been learning about Jeff Hardy, especially even more in the last few hours about his current state of health leading into Double or Nothing, an injury he suffered at Double or Nothing, then the DUI this past weekend. He was still scheduled to perform on tonight. We're on Wednesday the 15th here. On tonight's AEW Dynamite, a triple threat ladder match. That has been changed. And he was still advertised through this weekend's Triple Mania card in Mexico with AAA, a promotion that works in tandem with All Elite Wrestling in the Lucha Libre world. The Hardys were supposed to be featured on that show. Obviously, Jeff no longer in a legal position to be able to perform on that show. His brother Matt will bring the Hardy name south of the border. What changes are they making here for the Hardys to be involved in this card, at least for Matt Hardy to be involved in it?
According to AAA director Dorian Roldan, he is saying that Hardy is going to compete, so they'll probably find him a suitable tag team partner to face who they were supposed to. The Hardys were supposed to face Dragon Lee and Dralistico. I don't know who would be a great person that's not already on the card. Jose might be able to maybe shed some light on that. Is Andrade? Wouldn't that be interesting? Andrade and Matt Hardy teaming together, but I'm assuming he's already on the card. But
yeah, I don't know who you compare him up over that down there. If Andrade is working, that'll be interesting. If they can work together, having the history that they've had in AEW. Yeah. So I don't know if that's going to be if that's going to translate over to AAA.
I'm pulling up the card right now.
Yeah, but I mean, there's so many great talents down there. I don't know who would mesh well tagging with Matt Hardy. So we'll see. We'll see what happens this weekend. I'll definitely paying attention to it.
That is not the card. Yeah, I don't. That was the
cards are changing, man. We don't have a full Forbidden Door card. We have this pay-per-view on Saturday that's changing.
That was I pulled up
Money
the
in the Bank. We don't have anything for that yet, or maybe 2-3 matches.
True.
Yeah.
Man, what a week! What a week to cover what's going on here.
Oh, by the way, guys, I did want to bring today's highlight of the day.
Some good news.
This is some good news. All right. Now we know that that Sasha Banks and Naomi kind of been in the recent heat with everyone, but Sasha Banks actually had eye surgery, which is something really cool. And this is actually something that hits really close to home for me because I spent 20 years working in ophthalmology. Sasha Banks had today at the Tampa Surgery Center with Dr. Newsom. She had PRK, which is a laser refractive surgery, stands for photorefractive keratectomy. So it's basically just like LASIK.
Can you say that one more time? It's very impressive.
Yes, it's a photorefractive keratectomy. So
where are you putting that? Where are you putting that,
Jeremy, we're ordering seafood. What would you like? I'd like some
tekanami or whatever you said. Yeah. By the way, I did find the right card. Andrade not on a match right now. So
so that could be. So yeah, congratulations to Sasha Banks to getting her eyes fixed because she was pretty damn near.
Because you can't see me. See, when John Cena was saying that, it was literal for Sasha Banks.
It was literal for Sasha Banks. Yeah.
How much does your vision improve with the laser eye surgery?
So I worked in this for 20 years. Typically a LASIK procedure, you can see pretty much the same day after a few hours of sleep. If you've had a pretty large correction, let's say you're seeing 2400, that means you can't really see past, about a foot away from your face. About 95% of the times they get 20/20 where they can see absolutely clear across the room. So the surgery's been out for over 30 years now, guys. So the surgery's been well done, and they got new technology. But Sasha Banks decided to go with PRK for the simple reason that she's an athlete, and that's a safer procedure compared to LASIK. So, but congratulations to Sasha, man. That's awesome.
Way back when my mom had it, and she had to make sure she didn't bump her head for a week.
The rules were a lot
way back when.
The rules were a lot more restrictive back then. Now it's a little bit more lenient when it comes to your post-operative care. But she's going to be good. She's going to do great.
Certainly a big episode. If you're joining us late, don't be afraid to go back and watch that first segment and covering everything that's going on there. We will continue to cover this unfortunate story with Jeff Hardy. Some more details kind of coming out about that in the last day. We'll have more on that tomorrow. And of course, at sportskeeda.com. If you haven't done so, go ahead and download the app. It's available on all of your smartphone devices, Apple, Android, and so much more. If you enjoy watching the show as a live stream or in video format, you can get the podcast of our show. It has all of our top stories. It has Vince Russo on Legion of Raw. It is Dutch Mantel on Smack Talk on Friday nights going into the weekend, plus exclusive interviews we just dropped recently with Trish Stratus, Bret Hart, and many, many more. All right, so go check that out. That's available on Apple, Stitcher, Spotify, all your audio apps. And then on Wednesday nights, we just launched a Twitch channel. This will air after Dynamite tonight. Getting over on Twitch, Jeremy and Jose G running a promotion in WWE 2K GM mode. What's the pay-per-view you guys are building up to here?
We just did WrestleMania Backlash last week, so I don't know what the obviously WWE's changed the order of their pay-per-views in real life so much. I don't know what's next, but we got the May pay-per-view, whatever that's going to be. And
I was trying to bring back Great Balls of Fire, but it's not even available.
Yeah, we were hoping the Great Balls of Fire arena was in the game, but it's not. Yes, Steven, I'm going to probably do what I did with Snoop Dogg and go last minute on Monday, see if I get it cheap up close. If not, I'll just get a $20. Like, I can get $20 in the lower bowl right by the stage. So I'm going to wait and see if I can get a cheap up close one so you can see me on TV.
Sweet.
But yeah, we're whatever May pay-per-view we're working towards. We have hired some guns, some legends. Some legends. What? To hopefully turn the tide against Shane McMahon, who has definitely been putting money in Dave Meltzer's pockets because the star ratings do not make sense. They're getting way too many stars on Raw, and we are not getting that star rating on SmackDown. Shane McMahon is in Dave's pocket.
They should in the GM mode, they should have like a wrestling journalist that's like the bane of your existence that like gives stars to all the matches. And it should be like a work.
We should just CGI Kevin and put some black glasses with white tape. He's like,
no.
Match is only 2.25 matches.
I'll have one of the bedazzled. I'll be in a room with a lot of papers around me.
Please
I'm shipping out copies of my newsletter, and I'll have a bedazzled shirt on. And I can maybe I get a full head of hair, like a salt and pepper hair, and I'll be like Ron Seltzer or something like that. I'll be like I'll be Travis Seltzer. I'll be Trav Seltzer. That'll be my name.
See now, and you notice if you compare, we actually pulled up the financials, a comparison with the financials and the fans, and SmackDown has a lot more money than Raw. So it is clear that Raw has used that money to pay Dave Meltzer to give better star rating.
Fake Dave Meltzer, not real Dave Meltzer. We're talking about our show on Twitch, by the way. If you just tuned in, we are not accusing Dave Meltzer of taking money.
Yeah. So join in the fun after. We'll go for about an hour after Dynamite as we progress. We'll do a debrief on Dynamite, and then we will get into GM mode.
Tell them where they can get your new show, Wrestling Mindset, Jose G.
Yeah, guys. So go ahead and give me a follow on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube. Wrestling with Mindset. It's all about positivity, motivation, success. I'm going to be talking to some really big personalities here coming up this week and the next few weeks in the wrestling world, in the MMA world, and in the business world. So you guys will definitely want to make sure you keep tabs and follow, because I'm going to be dropping content every single day. So again, Wrestling with Mindset. You can just follow me at Jose G Official on Instagram, and you'll have all the links there to get there.
We had a lot of news today, and now I'm getting super chats right as we're trying to sign off, but I'll get to it. Roland Curtis, you're always so supportive, and I'm happy to do this. Does rate increase historically affect WWE sales? I don't know what exactly rate you're specifically
I'm wondering if he's talking about the inflation rate being high. I don't know if that actually affects WWE sales. I know this past Monday the house wasn't very packed from what I remember from one of the reports.
Are we talking about live tickets? Are we talking about their TV rating? Are we talking about the rate
I don't know.
That they get paid? Like, I don't know what rate, because there's a lot of metrics you're referencing there. That's like any metric, Do the numbers affect what number are we talking? I want to know what interest rates. Okay, so he's talking about interest rates. Thank you, Roland.
I don't think so. I don't think so because it's talking about, well, it depends on the sales. If you're talking about like live event sales, raw sales, I think that should be okay. But it depends if they're like borrowing money. I don't think they're going to be borrowing money for anything anytime soon. That's where usually where the interest rates hit.
Like I know a lot of people bring up this past Raw. Oh, they didn't have a ton of people. Good audience though. If you listen to that crowd, they were like on board the whole time. So
it was a good audience.
Was it a profitable show? Ticket sales? Probably not. But I also don't think they run those shows for the purpose of it being a live. Like that's not the revenue source of it. The revenue source of it is keep markets. We're not going to play the silent market and burn a market out. So we're going to bring our TV show on the road, our TV show that has all this advertising money tied to it. If WWE could go back to the Thunderdome way.
Coming to me on Monday.
Coming to you on Monday. If they could be in like one place for a month and it would sell out every week, would they do it? Who knows? But interest rates, that affects entertainment spending. That hasn't really happened yet. You look at the year that specifically, let's talk about entertainment money, people going somewhere and spending money and buying a ticket to something. Concert sales are up 10, 20% from where they were last year.
People want to get out.
Specifically for the top sales. And then you look at theme parks. All the major theme parks are making money again. Are they making the money they lost from being closed for so long? That's unclear. But like, Disney theme parks reported a massive increase on stuff. So let's wrap it up. I would like to report a big increase on my live comedy attendance as this Friday and Saturday, I'm taking over Milwaukee, baby. All right. They have the Crusher, and now they get Kev, okay? Tomorrow night, I'm going to be in Janesville, Wisconsin, doing Comedy for a Cause at Emmy's Bar and Grill. Great cause, a great woman who's in need. I'm happy to do that show. Friday and Saturday, I'm going to be at the Laughing Tap in Milwaukee with the great Damon Millard, who's been on Sirius XM. That's to be really, really cool. And then on Sunday night, I'm going to be at the Lakefront Brewery, also in Milwaukee. The link for tickets is right there, pinned at the top of my Twitter. Also, I just appeared on the Turnbuckles podcast with John Ryman, Julie Harrison-Harney, former WWE writers. I had a great conversation about some things that you guys have seen me do on this show, and I kind of pull back the proverbial curtain there and show you what's going on behind Wrestling Mia stuff that hopefully doesn't get me in trouble with our bosses. So go check that out. That's on the Turnbuckles podcast.
Well, it was nice having Kevin on the top story, but
all right. Well,
I thought just the story we had to cover was going to get us in enough trouble today. So let's leave it at that.
Everybody give a moment of peace for Kevin.
What are you guys talking about?
No, just nothing about nothing.
Let's get out of here. What? We're done. We're done. Do this thing when you watch wrestling. What's that? I'm sorry.
You got to enjoy wrestling, ladies and gentlemen. Please enjoy it.
Yeah.
Max?
People power.
Do?
Do?
People power.